We are on Granny Square, day 2, just week 3, day 2. And I took out my last slip stitch because I'm gonna change colors in my slip stitch because I need to change color. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this right back in there where it was, and then I'm gonna put that color behind and bring in my new color by yarning over and slip stitching through those 2 loops. And then I'm gonna tie this off so that I can be sure it's not gonna come undone at any point. And then so that I'm gonna try to just slip stitch kind of backwards a little bit so that I can, because this chain, I'm gonna chain 2 like I did at the beginning before. It's gonna count as a double crochet, but it's actually gonna count when I come back around. It's gonna be the last double crochet of this last corner. So I'm gonna kind of put my hook, you can see that I'm over here in this stitch, and I wanna be in this chain space so that it blends in when I come back around. So I'm gonna kind of go backwards here a little bit, and then I'm just gonna slip stitch through both like I normally would, and then I'm gonna do my chain 2. So that's gonna be my first, and this is all gonna blend in when I come back around. This is gonna be my first, or my last double crochet of the round. But so I chained 2, and then I need to chain a third one for my chain 1 between each cluster. So I've got the chain 1, and then I'm gonna, and I can't really crochet this in because it's at the end of that, and if I pull it over here, it's just gonna go over top of that. So I'm gonna have to come back in and sew that when I'm done with my square. So I'm gonna yarn over and double crochet in my next corner. And I'm just doing, it's a corner, so I need to keep it a corner. So I'm just gonna do my 3 double crochets and my 3 chains, and then my 3 double crochets to keep it a corner. 2 and 3. And then I'm gonna chain 3, double crochet 3 to make my corner. And then on this round, you are making each side a little bit bigger. You're still not gonna have any extra, any clusters on like the middle of the sides yet, but you can see that like you're making this corner. So now we do have a little cluster there, and then we're gonna chain 1. We're gonna have a space for another cluster on the next round. Then we're gonna go back into the next corner, and we're gonna 3 double crochet, and this is what we're gonna do for the whole second round. And then we're gonna chain 3 because we're in the corner, we need to keep that corner, and we're gonna double crochet 3 more times, and 3. So that's still our corner. So now you can see that my side is a little bit longer. Instead of just the 1, it's got the 2 groups of double crochets, and then it's got a little space here, so when I come back around the next time, I'll have my corners, and then I'll have another middle cluster there, and that's how it's gonna go as we get bigger and bigger. So I chain 1, and I'm going to make another corner. So that is a double crochet 3 times, chain 3, 1, oops, 2 and 3, and then I'm gonna do my other 3 into that corner for the other side. So as I kind of explained before, each corner is giving us our last grouping on the previous side, then it's giving us our corner, and then it's giving us our first grouping for the next side. So you've got a bit for each side on there, and then we're gonna chain 1 so that when we come back, we've got a little space to make our next cluster in. And then this is that corner where we did our chain to count for the end. So we're gonna do our 3 double crochets in this corner. And then we are going to chain our 3 for the corner, and then we're only gonna double crochet 2 because this is gonna count as the first one. And I know it looks like it's going sideways there, but once we slip stitch into there, it's going to kind of stand up a little bit. And if you want, which I am gonna do, I meant to do it before I did those 3, but it's not a big deal. You can take those 2 tails that you tied and you can kind of pull them back this way, and you can crochet them into this last corner stitches. So I'm just gonna, it's kind of backwards from how we normally would do it because they would normally be going that way. But so you just can double crochet over those like you normally would. They're just going the opposite direction. So I've got 1, and then I've got my 2. And then I'm going to slip stitch into the second chain. So you can see the first chain there, and then the second chain. This is our third chain, which remember is our space that we make between each grouping of 3 for the next row or the next round. Okay, so I've got 1, 2, so I'm just gonna insert into that, and then you're gonna slip stitch, which is just a yarn over and a pull through 2, but I already know that I need to change color, so I'm gonna come back with your day 3 video, and then I will change color then. So there is day 2, week 3.